Hello and welcome to the Rest is Football. It's a question episode, and as always, I'll be joined by Micah Richards and Alan Shearer. I'm Gary Lineker, and I'm going to go straight in because we've got lots of questions to get through, and thank you once again for sending them in. We really do appreciate it, as that and all your very kind words about the podcast. We're really chuffed you're enjoying it. Right, one from Mate Lengiel. Hi, I'm not sure if it's already been asked, but just wondering whether Spurs are better with or without Harry Kane. I'd like to hear Micah's thoughts on it, please.
Great start. Great question. Get off that fence and give us an answer.
Have you just made that question up, Gary?
No, it's from Mate Lengiel. I couldn't make that name up.
Spurs are a better counter-attacking team. Look what Kane is doing at Bayern Munich. I can't say Spurs are a better team. They're performing so well. Ask me this question in March. I've already said ask me this question
every week. I don't
Put your balls on the line and give us an answer for once.
Counter-attacking team, yes.
That is not an answer. Not an answer at all. But there we go. Right, I've got one from Gary Walker. That's a good name, isn't it? Gary and Walker's in the same thing. Right, if you were all to choose a favourite club and country football jersey based solely on design and appearance, without any personal memories associated with them, what would they be?
Brazil.
Oh, I was going to say the same thing. You stole
Gotta
it.
be, hasn't it? Gotta be that famous yellow jersey, eh?
Gold jersey. It's that.
Gotta be.
Imagine wearing that. You'd look great in that, Micah.
Oh, would I? Proper Samba boy, yes, definitely. R9 in that shirt, iconic. It has to be Brazil.
MR2 in that shirt.
Oh,
Imagine
no.
that.
Big Meeks.
Big Meeks. Yeah. I think we all like that. There's something about that, isn't it? That Brazilian shirt. I like the Argentina. I like the Argentina strip as well, you know.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's like kind of iconic. England's a good kit. White. I always like white. I shouldn't say that because it's obviously as a Barcelona player, but former player. Real Madrid was always the white ones, but I think it always looks good. Right, here we go. Question from De Emra. What is the best goal you ever scored? Micah, you go first because obviously you haven't got so many to choose from.
Oh, spicy. I would say my goal against... No, you know what? I've done my Stoke goal before. I'm going to do my Blackburn goal.
Talk us through it.
Tell us it.
Okay. So I'm playing centre half. And as the ball comes into me, the first touch has got to be bang on. First touch in front of you. Nullify the defender's threat straight away. So I burst into midfield. I'm running with it. I'm going at about 30 miles an hour. No one could get nowhere near me. I burst from midfield into the attacking phase of play, let's call it. And then I sort of drop my shoulder, go one way and go the other. And then I play a wonderful ball through to Benjani. Benjani absolutely shanks it. It comes off the post, rebounds straight to me, and I just half volley it home.
It's a tap-in then?
Well, I mean, a little bit.
How far out were you?
About 5 yards.
It's all about the run though, wasn't it, Micah? It's all about the run.
I'm sat here waiting for I pinged one in from about 25 yards and it went into the top corner. 5 yards out, a half volley.
It was all about the run. It was all about the run now.
I love it. Gary, what's yours?
I've never really scored any great goals. I scored one at Old Trafford in top corner, but my best goal, I think, even though it was just a typical one from about 6 yards out, was because it changed my life, and that for me is more significant than a long range effort. Which the best goal I scored was at Old Trafford and top corner, but from 20 yards or so. But But yeah, probably the first one in the World Cup in 1986, we had to win the game. We had to beat Poland, and I just got the ball, knocked out wide, made a run one way, gambled on the near post and knocked it in. But we've talked before about a goal can change everything, can change your life, and it did mine. I ended up with a hat trick. I finished with a golden boot, which I obviously don't mention too often. And then off the back of it, I got moved to Barcelona. So it was transformational.
Well,
really.
the goal sounds. He said best goal.
Yeah, well, all right, I'll go. I'll tell you what, I scored a goal playing against America. We played in Los Angeles. It was a kind of year before, was it? The year before the World Cup, I think. It's a kind of tour we had. And Glenn Hoddle knocked a ball in, knocked to me on the edge of the box, and I kind of turned, chested it in the air, turned and like volleyed it into the top corner, and that was an absolute beauty.
Love it.
Have we got footage of that? Can we get footage?
I've seen it. I've seen footage of it. It's there somewhere. We'll find it. I'll make sure someone finds it and puts it on.
Mine was a volley from 30 yards that went right into the top corner. No messing against Everton.
It's come on, Alan. Give us a bit more.
Insulted. If you were a crisp, you'd be.
What I did. I got the ball. I chested it down, and I just hit it as hard as I could. That's great analysis. That is it, Alan.
Well, I didn't chest it down. I just smashed it from 30 yards that went in the top corner. That was it.
You scored a lot of absolute storming goals, didn't you? Belters.
Head down and hit them. Pick your spot and hit it. Yeah. My Everton one was my best one.
Okay, before we move on, sorry, what ball did you like to hit the most? Because you love smashing it. Because you had the Mitas, you had the Nikes. Have we had Puma as well? Have we?
Remember the Micah multiplex, wasn't it? That was when I first started off. A Micah multiplex, I think it was. A little bit lighter than the other ones.
I started off with that old brown leather ball with the laces in it.
When it got wet, it was really heavy.
Yeah. That actually leads us on nicely to the next question, which is to me from someone called Talking Truth. I don't think that's his name, but how did it feel to win the Golden Boot over Maradona?
Oh,
I don't know why I chose to read that question.
I was going to say
it felt brilliant.
Yes. See, you're allowed to swear when it's that mammoth and that huge. Yeah. It sounds better when you swear.
A bit of emphasis. But I do remember watching the final because Maradona had got 5 goals. I'd already got 6, and we were knocked out in the quarterfinals, obviously in the Hand of God game. Then Maradona went on and scored 2 in the semi, and he was on 5. And he was the only one that could beat me in the final. And I remember I was brought in, I think it was the first bit of punditry I ever did. I was in the studio with Des Lynam and Terry Venables and Jimmy Hill, I think. And I've spent the whole game like praying he wouldn't score, and he got brought down and it looked like a nailed-on penalty and they didn't give it, and he took the penalties, and then he had a free kick that was like a whisper away, and it was like a tense watch. It was such a tense watch, but such a relief.
Brilliant.
Joyous, beautiful stuff. Right, here's a question from Ahmed Aude, who says, would you rather be a first-team player for a club battling relegation or mid-table each season, or a squad rotation player in a team constantly winning trophies and European championships? Love the podcast. Keep up the good work, and hail Big Meat.
Well, I'm probably best placed to answer this question.
I would say so.
I've had a relegation and I've been a squad player.
What's better?
I would rather mean something more to the team. So I would rather be in a relegation fight, like a Ward Prowse, who has been outstanding for Southampton. Yes, they got relegated, but it didn't really affect sort of his ability and what he could do and the opinions we had of him. He gets his move to West Ham and everyone knows the ability he's got. But I remember when I was at Manchester City, so the first time we won the league under Mancini, I played, I think, 30-odd games in that season. Totally justified of the medal. But the second time, under Pellegrini, we sort of didn't see eye to eye. I've told a story about not really getting on with him, but it was super nice guy. It was all my fault. So as on trophy day, when you're getting presented with the Premier League medals at the last game of the season, so he'd won the league, and I never forget the media guy from Man City said, "Oh, are you going to go out and get your award?" At this time, I've only played 3 games or something like that, 2 or 3 games that season. I've been injured and fell out with Pellegrini. So I know I'm not getting an award. I might get a medal, but it's not really it doesn't count. And they're going through all the names. So you all go out and you go get your medal. Then they call my name and I said, I'm not going out. He said, no, you have to go. I'll make sure on the tannoy that they don't say your name. So you go out, Vincent Kompany, hey, whoever it is, Jolien Lescott, hey, Clichy, goes, and it gets to me. And you know, like when the fans are cheering, but it's more in a condescending way. I had to go out there and get a trophy knowing that I'd literally not had any impact in that season, and it was so demoralizing. So no, I would hate to be a squad player. It was some of the most horrible times of my career.
How did you fall out with Pellegrini? What happened there?
so Pellegrini, I thought I told it on here. So basically,
you weren't pissed again, were you?
Okay, I've had so many comments about that. Oh, I knew you was drinking, so unprofessional. No wonder you didn't make it after your first year and all this sort of stuff. So it was playing in the cup. I basically coming back from injury and was playing against a lower league team. Was playing at Etihad, and in the first half, I've had a stinker, absolute stinker. And we're chasing the game, we're losing the game. And Pellegrini comes in at halftime and says, oh, Zabaleta for Micah Richards. So I have lost my I've said, it's an absolute disgrace. You got your favourites under the team, blah, blah, blah. I'm effing and jeffing and throwing things around in front of everyone. And after the game, he just blanked me. But he blanked me for about 3 weeks. So, you know, like when you get the team list, there's 18 or 20 in the squad. He just wasn't naming the squad. So I'm asking the physio, or the doctor, what's happening? He said, you're not getting back in the squad until you go apologise. So I had to go to his office and say, I'm sorry, can I get back in the squad? At this point, I apologised so late, I couldn't even get the Premier League. So, yeah, it was all my fault. It was my fault again.
That's brilliant.
Great stuff. On that note, let's take a break. Welcome back to The Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. Got some great questions this week, and here's one from Pudsey White. Just been watching the Best of Saint and Greavesy, which they are rerunning, and they had a feature on Gary playing snooker against Jim. It sounded like you were some player. Do you still play, and did you improve on the breaks? You talked about it at the time. It was back in 1986. Yeah, I not played since 1986 because I went to Barcelona and there were no snooker tables. In fact, there was one snooker table in the town. It was in a bar, and it was busy, and it was in the time when they smoked inside, and everyone used the pockets of the snooker table as an ashtray. So, but yeah, I had a few hundred breaks. Had a 135 total clearance. I used to play every day after training from when I was about 16 until I was about...
Did you?
25, yeah. That was my thing. I used to just... Because you have to, a lot of time to kill, and I loved it. I used to love playing. In fact, I played in a... they used to do incredibly long build-ups to the FA Cup final. And when we were playing the first Merseyside final at at Wembley, Liverpool against Everton, and before, in the build-up, in the days preceding the game, they arranged a snooker match between me of Everton and Mark Lawrenson of Liverpool. And it was the best of 3 frames, and they had a referee, and it was all in a bit of a crowd and all this. And the first frame was a bit scruffy. I won it easily. I was always going to win. But the second frame, I got in the balls, and they were really lovely. And I was like, bomb, red, black. And I got to I was on 45, and I was on the black. And I knocked the black in, and I was perfect for the reds. And the reds were beautiful. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to make... And the referee goes, foul shot, Mark Lawrenson, 7. And I've gone, huh? He said, I went, why? He went, you just touched the ball on the cush with you. I went, oh, for Christ's sake. And I thought, there's no way I touched that. And then I was just so gutted. I was thinking I could have had 100 break on telly. At the absolute bare minimum, I'd have got 70 or 80. And at the end of I won the frame, obviously. It was 2-0, that was it. And at the end of the frame, I went, oh, God. I said, what was that about? He said, no, I just thought, you were running away with it. So I thought I'd, give a foul and give Lawrenson a chance. I went, you have got to be joking. Oh, honestly, I was gutted. But any of you good at other sports? I mean, most footballers you're not bad at golf, Al. You're not, you smack it around.
I just love golf. That's it, really. I'm not into many others, no. But why don't you play that anymore? You're the same with golf, aren't you? You're either in it or you're not. It's like mad, isn't it?
It was purely because I went to Barcelona and I had 3 years without playing, and then I just never got
they're
back
not having
into
any
the
snooker
habit.
tables over there, like.
Well, I got married. That's probably one of the reasons as well.
Then you were shooting a 69 then, weren't you?
Oh, God, he's...
As Harry cringes in
going on.
Harry the Fiat Lineker.
Micah, did you play any other sports? Did you ever?
Nope, no other sports for me. Football and that was it. I know it sounds boring, but no, I've got nothing to give you on that.
I've got a question from Kurt Laduma. For everyone, what was the least enjoyable thing that came with being a pro footballer? I know some players don't love training or all of the travelling, but was there anything else you personally didn't love about it? Ooh,
good question.
I didn't love training, mainly because I liked training if it was felt like I was getting something out of it, like even in pre-season where you work on your fitness, I didn't mind that. But once you get into the run of games in a season, it was always 5-a-sides, and I just thought they were pointless and just got a bit bored. But I didn't hate it at all. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't as enjoyable as I felt it should be. But I just wanted to do finishing, really.
For the vast majority of all my time, I mean, how can you not love being a footballer? Yeah. Other than towards the end, the travelling. I mean, Jesus Christ, you're getting paid to kick a football around.
I know.
I love the travelling. I mean, when I first started off, we used to Southampton, the bus everywhere. I mean, 7 to 8 hours on a bus up to Newcastle on a Friday, then 7 to 8 hours back on a Saturday night. It was like, I even loved that, when you could have a couple of beers on the bus or play cards or do whatever. And I don't think there's anything that I didn't like. No, it was amazing.
I think I'm the same, really. Micah?
I would probably say the media a little bit, when
you're in the media now.
Yes, but I'm in the media to try. I don't want to change the opinion, but I always felt like the media was a little bit harsh, whereas now a little bit more forgiving. I have all ex-players come up to me and said, I thought you was a bit of a bell. You're actually all right in real life. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're not.
That's it. I hope you put them right.
Just because, I know when he talked to them, I had so much so young, and the opinion of me was one thing. And that's why when people now doing analysis, I was like, say what you want about them on the pitch, but you can't really judge him off the pitch. When people say, oh, he's not living right, or he's doing that, how do you know? How do you know by just looking at a person, unless they come drunk? So, yeah, I would say media for me.
Okay. Next question. Question from Rob Watson. Having heard you mention Mark Hughes' nickname, Sparky, in an earlier episode, what's the best nickname you've heard in a dressing room and why?
Well, they don't call me Big Reeks. Why the do you think they call me Big Me?
Well, that's rough. Oh, God.
I thought it was because of your big guns.
I played with Justin Edinburgh at Tottenham, and I'm not sure who came up. It might have been Gazza came up with it. His nickname, we called him Dalmahoy, because it's a place that's just in Edinburgh.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Very good, Gary. Very good.
Wasn't the player called Fitzhall, wasn't there? And they called him One Size or something.
One Size, yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right. Question from So Many Giraffes, which is to Micah. What was it like to get the best view of Wayne Rooney's overhead kick in the Manchester derby in 2011? Oh, that's harsh. I bet he's a Man United fan.
The thing is, though, I talked about this on Sky today. If you want to look at the analysis, it was Kompany's man. Kompany slipped just before he's about to kick it. And for some reason, like, I'm just in the shot. I think I've got it. I'm closing my eyes to head the ball. And I just see this foot from absolutely nowhere. It was absolutely incredible how he managed to get his foot that high and direct it into the top corner. It's one of the best goals I've ever seen, if not the best. So the view from a City point of view was not great, but from a Man United point of view, it was ridiculously good.
One from Bobby Osam, or Awesome. What's one of the weirdest things you've seen a teammate do in the dressing room or training ground? Oh, blimey. Which Gazza story do I tell?
I was just about to say that, yeah, Gazza. How many can we tell with Gazza? I told the ones, haven't I, where they, I think it was Freddie Flintoff came in. He kept punching him in the arm. He went, how's that? How's that? and then it was Gary Barlow came and he kept punching him in the arm going, take that. Take that.
Oh, Gazza.
Is that a true story?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Honestly.
Brilliant.
He used to put deep heat in your pants and then sit and wait for you to put your underpants on. You could see his shoulders going away laughing when you were running away, scratching your balls because they're burning.
I remember he once, you know, somebody's soap bag or toilet bag, whatever you call it. He emptied whoever's it was, he emptied all their stuff out and dumped in it and then put it all back on top. Oh. He'd do some grim things. My favourite one, though, one of many favourites, was with Jimmy Five Bellies, his mate, who was, you know, who would do anything for Gazza. He'd got, you know, try and get him out of trouble and all sorts, but he'd do anything that Gazza said. So he came into training one day, Gazza, and he had this rifle. It's like this rifle thing, and he was shooting at birds and all this sort of nonsense. And at the end of training, he said, Jimmy, gan over there. And he said, gan over there. And he said, and bend over and I'll shoot you in the arse. And Jimmy's gone, no, Gaz, no way. No, I can't, go on, do it. He kept saying, so in the end, he walks about like 30 yards away and Gazza goes, boom, bang, shoots him in the cheek. He's going, he's running around. I'm thinking, oh my God, what are you doing? And then everyone's like, we're in hysterics, as you would be. So Gazza said, that was great. He said, let me shoot you in the other cheek. And Jimmy's gone, no chance. And needless to say, 2 minutes later, he stood there and he did him in the other cheek as well. He shot him in the other cheek. Oh, crikey.
Oh, God.
Dearie me.
What a man.
Oh, yeah. Micah?
No, there's nothing appropriate for this.
Well, I told a couple of totally inappropriate ones. But
that is me. I've got loads of stuff. But
yeah. What about Mario? Mario Balotelli must have done something crazy. Well, that was in your house when he set off the fireworks, did he?
Exactly that. In training, not particularly, no. Everyone, and all the stories I've got about Balotelli, they're like, too, let's say they're not PG. enough.
What? And someone's shooting someone up the ass, is it? With a rifle.
Let's just leave it at that.
What about the fireworks in the house? What happened there?
So the Balotelli fireworks story, it is hilarious because the story that you guys all know is the story at his own house where basically he's setting off fireworks in his home, and I'm not exaggerating, there must have been 30,000 pounds worth of damage on the house. If you Google that now, you probably could see the damage. But what people don't know, he came to my house couple of weeks later and tried to set off fireworks in my house.
Really?
He's chasing me round my kitchen with fire. I'm like, man, are you fucking okay in the end, man? You've just set off fireworks in your own house and nearly burnt it down. And now you're coming around. And he's just there looking at me, laughing at me like it's normal. I'm just like, this guy he's mad, but he's, along with all the madness, it's the sameness with probably you guys with Gazza. He's just a great guy underneath. You can't do nothing but love him. What a guy he is. I love him so much.
Kids, do not try this at home.
Under any circumstances. Yeah. And then you wonder why it was always, why always me?
Why
That's
always
probably the reason. I'm going to finish with one question for you, Alan Shearer.
Oh,
From Joey Joe Joe. If Alan Shearer could choose between A, a full head of hair for the rest of his life, or B, one more game for Newcastle at his peak fitness level, which would he choose?
one more fucking... I'm not bothered about it. It's so much easier not having hair. Honestly. I mean, you two must get up in the morning and do all this crap and sort your hair out. Micah gets his cut twice a week, pays 300 quid to get the guy from London or whatever. I just have a wet shave once a week. It's perfect. Play for Newcastle once more, all day, every day.
I thought you might say that. What a great way to finish. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.